forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
It was 3 weeks after he was diagnosed that we were burying him. That's not a lot of time to process, do you know? It wasn't a lot of time to actually let it sink in. And I suppose me, myself, I suppose a bit of an optimist. I just had it in my mind that he'd be better. Do you know, I had it in my mind that there was some miracle procedure that was going to come along, be it chemo or removing the tumours or something. I had it in my mind that he was going to get better. And I suppose I didn't really grasp the gravity of the situation until it was too close to when it was going to pass on, you know. One of the last things that my dad said to me was, I know you don't love me, but you've always meant so much to me. And that killed me.
My parents split up very suddenly, very unexpectedly on holiday, and we came home and I didn't talk to my dad then for a few months. Like, obviously I'd see him, but we didn't really have the same relationship. I barely came home. I was just completely absorbed with everything up here, and I didn't want to come home because I was so angry. And then in March 2023, I was on my way to work. It was like the 29th of March. It was like one day after his birthday. I was on my way to work and my mom called me, and we just had a normal phone call, like literally literally right outside work. And she was just talking to me about normal things. And then she said that he had been diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic, I don't know how to pronounce it, leukemia. Then I called him afterwards, and that was a really hard phone call because we hadn't been like affectionate with each other in so long, and I just told him I loved him, and like he hadn't heard me say that, or he knew that I felt that way, but he hadn't heard me say it in like 2 years. So for me it was like perspective shift because I was just so angry. Then you kind of have to think like, is it worth losing so much time with him? And like, I don't know, it wasn't at all. It was so stupid. It wasn't stupid, it was very justified in my head, but it was so, it's just such a waste of time. It's a lot of pressure, and it's horrendous. Like, it's awful to think about him suffering, and it's awful to think that he won't be here for like as long as my friend's parents will be, just to see everything. Because there's so many things that he won't see.
I was a parent for my parent, basically. Essentially, a kid forced to grow up too quickly. He never really got a childhood. The thing that most affected me was, I think after I moved to Galway, like all of my mom's like suicide attempts started to happen, and I wasn't there to help her, and I felt really guilty for moving away. In that moment, I felt the most guilt I've ever felt in my life for moving out of home, and I know I did the right thing, and everyone knows I did the right thing. I just felt so guilty for not, I couldn't be there for my mom because I had to be here. The guilt when you can't be there for a parent, or wishing, I wish I did something. I wish I was there. You feel horrible. You feel like you failed your parent, but you haven't, because you've been helping your parent throughout everything, throughout thick and thin. But you just feel extremely guilty for not even wanting to accept it. I think I just kind of was like, oh, no, it won't happen. No, it's not gonna happen. That's so out of reach. That's so out of reality. But when somebody just ends up having last conversations and telling you all their plans on how they're gonna end it, and like wanting to leave you their will and wanting to like actually tell you there are plans of how to end it, that's when you realize this is actually happening. She thankfully, she's a lot better now, but she has these thoughts sometimes, of course, but she hasn't had, to be fair, I don't know. Yeah. She thankfully, I just don't want anyone to go through the pain. I don't wish it upon anyone. There's this sense of community when a lot of people suffer.
It's such a close thing to everybody. Everyone's been touched by it in some way.
We kind of look at your parents as though like they're kind of like pillars of health, and you know what I mean? They look after you, you don't look after them. It's a lot of pressure, and it's horrendous. Like, it's awful to think about him suffering, and it's awful to think that he won't be here for like as long as my friend's parents will be, just to see everything. Because there's so many things that he won't see.
One of his last good days was all of his friends, all of his family, they all came to see him in our house. He played cards, which is something that he always, used to do maybe once a week, once a month. My great aunt brought this pavlova for him, and he was delighted. It was the widest smile I'd seen from him in weeks. It was something that just he kind of, it was almost like a last supper. He wanted people to have a good last memory of him, and that was something that I found so profound, that he knew that it was probably the last time everyone's going to see him healthy, probably the last time anybody might see him at all.
All of the family ended up going to the beach, and we ended up hiking down for a couple of hours, and it was really nice because it was so simple. It was the first time in years where all of us were together without feeling that heavy wave of sadness, and it was nice to kind of feel normal for a bit.
It was quick in the end, I suppose. He just kind of took one breath and then he didn't take another. I'll never forget the silence.